Hiral, we've got a whole clutch of issues to talk to Bharat about, and let's start off with the first one. Bharat, I'm going to ask you about the festive sales. We did see what we saw from Hero in terms of the numbers. What is the ground-up picture that you are picking up as an analyst on how this festive season has been for the auto sector?
Good morning. Festive season, definitely at the ground level, we are seeing turnaround in the volumes. But as we know, Hero MotoCorp and Bajaj Auto both have reported double-digit kind of volume growth in the festive season. But one thing we have to remember this time around, the festive season started a bit late. So the festive season started in the month of October. And if we draw a comparison from the last year, the festive season had in the last year clicked in the month of September. So definitely because of the late starting of the festive season and the clustered festives in the month of October, we saw a huge blip in the sales of the festives. So that is one reason, because the base in October was somewhat on the lower side, and the festives were a bit spread out last time around. So we had a favorable base effect to that extent as well. And also we have seen, no doubt, the festives have sort of turned around the sentiment for the two-wheeler companies. The numbers have shown a double-digit kind of a growth as compared to a flattish growth which we witnessed in the first half. So definitely festives have helped the auto companies a lot.
Okay, I'm going to ask you about the second trigger, which is really the pay commission development. It's being seen as a big fiscal stimulus for the economy. And in the past, all the pay commissions have really helped the auto companies, especially the mass companies like Maruti, etc. What's your own call, especially given that they are looking at a 23% hike in salaries across the board?
Yeah, definitely the 23% hike which the government has given for their employees, it will definitely help to boost the sentiments as well as sales in the auto sector, particularly the two-wheeler segment and the entry-level passenger vehicles. And as you rightly pointed out previously, the kind of hike the government, whenever there is a hike given by the government, it definitely helps to increase the disposable income at the hands of the government employees, which in turn helps in to increase the consumer demand, especially the two-wheelers and the four-wheeler passenger vehicles. And historically we have seen whenever there is a revision in the pay, the sales tend to go up for two-wheeler as well as the four-wheeler companies. We have seen a kind of a double-digit growth whenever this pay commission has been implemented. So we definitely see the sentiment improving for the companies going ahead because of this. So we definitely see that the sales picking up going ahead for the passenger vehicles as well as the two-wheeler sector.
The third news trigger is what Hiral mentioned, Bharat, which is really the Chennai rain situation and what it has meant for many of the players. I mean, the biggest market favorites, be it Ashok Leyland or TVS Motors, are based out of Chennai. What is the implication of what is happening, and is it factored into the price right now?
Definitely the production is going to be impacted because of the rainfall, the heavy rainfall. But we believe that this is a temporary phenomena, and the sales volume loss would be low as far as we know, because the inventory pipeline with the dealers is very high, is a normal level. So definitely, like one month is typically what the CV players and the four-wheeler major players sought to have as an inventory with the dealers. So once if the production is hampered by 15 to 20 days, it does not really lead to a sales loss, because the dealer is himself carrying an inventory of about 1 month. So typically the sales loss tends to be low if the disruption is caused on a temporary basis, such as we are witnessing now. So what I believe is that the sales loss would not be really there for the players.
Fair enough. Bharat, we are going to come back with you and talk about individual counters and how you see things panning out. But before that, let's quickly go across to what Mr. R.C. Bhargava, the chairman of Maruti, had to tell us earlier today on not just the festive season and the impact on the sales for Maruti, but also on what the 7th Pay Commission would mean.
I believe the big difference in this pay commission and previous pay commission is that this is to be applied prospectively, not retrospectively. That means that the kind of lump sum amounts which government servants got when the pay commission report was implemented last few times is not going to happen this time. And the buying spree for various consumer durables which used to happen after pay commission report was largely driven by the lump sum amounts that government servants got. In the absence of any lump sum this time, I can't see how there can be any kind of a sudden spurt in government servants buying, because the monthly increases is not all that much to drive a sudden change in attitudes and large-scale buying.
Mr. Bhargava, I know you don't like to talk about sales number, but it's been a stellar festive season for Maruti. You've had big launches as well. I'd like to ask you, is 2016 going to be a better year than 2015 for Maruti?
I hope 2016 will be a better year. We expect that the kind of growth which Maruti has maintained this year, which is double digits, we hope, although we haven't made the budget for next year, we are hoping, at least I am hoping, that we should be able and we have made a assessment of what the market looks like closer to the start of the next year. You know, we are still more than 4 months away from the beginning of the next financial year. So it's a little bit premature to forecast the next year.
Most definitely, sir. And I want to get a sense about the critical shareholding vote that's underway about the Suzuki plant in Gujarat, sir. Any sense that you're getting? Is it going to be smooth sailing? There is a bit of a divergent view on which house the mutual fund houses will vote. Could you share something with us?
I wouldn't like to comment on the results of the voting, because the voting period is on. And the shareholders have time till the 15th of December to vote. So I think it's better to wait till the results come on the 17th.
Right, that's R.C. Bhargava also speaking about the vote on the royalty payments as well. So we'll talk to Bharat about all of this, but we head into a short break. We'll come back and start up with Maruti and ask Bharat about how Maruti stacks up. It's a mass player, it's a leading player. How does the 7th Pay Commission really impact Maruti, and how much of an upside he sees from it? We'll come back with all of that. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Bloomberg Bottom Line. The market's holding on 78.95. We did cross 7,900 in trade today, but we are up about 0.75% right now, and the up move is being led by Gas Authority of India and the entire gas pack, which is really also propping up the mid-cap side of the market, because if you actually look at the mid-cap side of the market, it's outperforming the indices, and there you have a whole clutch of counters. Petronet Energy, however, has cooled off, and that's really the direct beneficiary of reports that suggest that the Qatari firm might be looking at reworking some of the deals with with Petronet LNG, and that has a ripple effect across the gas space. But we are talking about the auto sector and the three trigger points over there, two on the positive, one on the negative. The two positive being, of course, the 7th pay commission and the impact, the festive season and how it's panned out for the auto companies. And on the negative, the Chennai floods and rains, which really have wreaked havoc with a lot of the plants over there. But let's get back to Bharat Gyanani from Angel Broking, who's an auto analyst. Bharat, I'm going to start by asking you about Maruti. What's the sense from Maruti? It's been on an aggressive footing, launching products, coming up with a huge new platform of premium end products. It is really, in many senses, a leader, normally a big beneficiary of any pay commission. How are you seeing it this time?
Yeah, definitely. Maruti has been outperforming the passenger vehicle industry. If we analyze the performance of the company for the last 1 or 2 years, it has been consistently entering new segments, and the new launches which the company has had, the Celerio, the Ciaz in the premium segment, and now the Baleno in the premium hatchback segment. All of the products have been getting good response, and the company has consistently gained market share in the passenger vehicle industry. So definitely as the expectation is, the passenger vehicle industry growth is likely to accelerate in FY17, given the improved economic growth, and now we have the pay commission, which will also provide a stimulus to the demand. So the outlook remains good for the sector as such.
Right. I want to talk about Ashok Leyland next. I'm not too sure whether I should talk about TVS or Ashok Leyland first, but Ashok Leyland, let's start off with that. The biggest gainer over the year. How are you seeing things for Ashok Leyland, and how does it stack up from here on if you were to look at realigning your auto portfolio basis on what's going to come rather than what's already happened?
Yeah, Ashok Leyland, we have seen the stock doing a stellar run in the last 1 to 1.5 years. That's because the stock has almost more than doubled, and it has been continued to be in our buy list since 1 to 1.5 years. And we still believe that the potential for the stock is still there, because the MHCV cycle, MHCV industry is clearly in an up cycle. We have seen, we have to remember that in the last 2 years prior to this, that's FY13 and FY14, the industry had almost halved so the pent-up demand is very high, and we see that in FY15 the industry rebounded very sharply, growing by about 16%, and we see that the momentum continue to go ahead for the next 2 to 3 years. We expect the industry to grow by at least 15% over the last 2 years, and Ashok Leyland, being a pure MHCV player, it derives about 80 to 85% of the revenues from the MHCV side. So we believe that it will be a huge beneficiary of the upcycle in the MHCV demand. In fact, Ashok Leyland is our top pick in the automotive space. We have a target price of about 111 rupees on the stock. So we continue to see strong traction for Ashok Leyland going ahead because of the improving MHCV in domestic demand. Also, the company is diversifying into improving the exports. It has targeted to take up the exports from the current 15% levels to about 30 to 33% levels over the next 4 to 5 years. And also the defense business, the company is seeing a huge growth opportunity in the defense business as well. In the defense business, the company is primarily into the movement of passenger troops, that is the passenger troops. But now the company is concentrating on moving the goods, that is the missiles and the launchers. So basically it will focus on launching that kind of vehicles, and given the Make in India initiative of
okay,
the government
Bharat,
of
fair
India,
enough.
We see that
got the general drift.
Be prime beneficial of the defense.
Okay, Bharat, got the drift. I've got a couple of stocks, so I would request you to keep the answers brief. I'm going to ask you about the next one, which is TVS Motors. In the 3 months ago, it started making an up move. It's been the biggest gainer in the last 3 months, and it's left a lot of the other two-wheeler companies like Bajaj and Hero way behind. What is driving the stock up, and how are you seeing it relatively in the two-wheeler segment?
Amongst the two-wheeler players, we believe TVS Motors has a lot of potential. It has been gaining market share in the two-wheeler space, and we expect that trend to continue because the company has strong products lined up. It will relaunch the Victor, as well as we see the association with BMW, which the company has, will also result in the company gaining market share in the premium motorcycle segment. That is one thing, and another thing is we believe that the company has now seen the benefits of improving volumes coming into its profitability. So the margins last quarter surprised the most of the street estimates by reporting an expected better than expected operating performance, and so we expect the margins to continue improving given that now the company has been realizing the benefit of improving volumes.
Okay. Hero came up with pretty good festive sales numbers. Would you re-rate Hero and Bajaj basis the fact that they have been the underperformers, Bharat? And if a lot of the pay commission stuff comes in, two-wheeler companies are going to benefit. It's going to be, an interesting time to watch out for. But my question is more in terms of valuations, both Hero and Bajaj. What's your take on these?
Amongst Hero and Bajaj, we would prefer Bajaj Auto compared to Hero MotoCorp because Bajaj Auto has seen a revival in the motorcycle market share, which the company has seen a lot of decline, and we expect that it's going to launch an altogether new brand in the commuter space in Q4. We have seen in Q3 they will launch a series of Avenger products. So basically new product launches both in the commuter and the premium segment will help the company to move up the market share in the motorcycle space. Also we see that the new quadricycle which the company has launched will soon be taken out in the export markets, so that is another trigger for the stock. So amongst the two companies we would prefer Bajaj Auto.
Fair enough, Bharat. We leave it there. Thanks so much for joining us. That's Bharat Gyanani, auto analyst at Angel Broking, putting in context a lot of the news developments around the auto sector. That's Bloomberg Bottom Line for you. Focus on the auto sector. We'll head into a short break. We'll come back and get you all the top stories on the other side of this break. Thank you so much for joining us. Goodbye.